The Atlanta Braves head out west and absolutely clobber the Arizona Diamondbacks. I mean, a lot to say about this. You could tell that a lot happened in this game just by that. I mean, there's multiple crooked numbers next to the Atlanta Braves name on the bottom of the screen. So, let me tell you how we got there. I'm not going to do a full scoring recap because it would take forever, and it's already past 1 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast as I record this. I will tell you this. I'll tell you exactly how the Arizona Diamondbacks scored their 2 runs. And that's that. That's just what you got to settle for. The Diamondbacks were able to score their home runs, or their runs, excuse me. One was a homer. We'll get into that. Jordan Lawler scores just fly ball to left field, and it got out of the stadium. That made it at the time 2-1 Braves. And then after it was all said and done, have to scroll all the way down on the summary on MLB.com to get there. Still not there yet. There we go. Yeldemaro Vargas, he doubled down the line, and that was able to score Gabriel Moreno. That was against Beto in the 9th inning, and that made the score whopping 17-2. A real Chris Paul hits a big 3 to cut the lead to 42 moment there for the Diamondbacks. And that actually works better than you know, because Chris Paul was a Phoenix Sun at the time of that famous meme. But the offense tonight for the Atlanta Braves absolutely exploded. This is what we were used to seeing this team do back in 2023. And they got it started early. Matt Olson just hit a nuke to center field at Chase Field and just cleared the yellow line right below the scoreboard. And that was a home run. Looking at the Savant, at plate appearance number 3, 108 off the bat, 31 on the launch angle. He had a really good night, 3-hit night for Matt Olson. All 3 of those extra base hits for Matteo. Maybe starting to feel himself a little bit after not a bad series at home to start the year, but was not able to bring the power we're used to seeing. But he hit the ball really, really hard tonight. And then after that, the Braves added on Dominic Smith with his second home run of the season in the 3rd inning. And then after that, it was 2-1. And then in the 5th, the Braves had a little bit of interesting luck go their way. It felt like it was a turning point, not only for the season or for the game, but the season. The Braves were playing with a completely different mentality than they have played with in the past 2 seasons. Because, and I'm going to have to cough here because I am rapidly losing my voice. And this is the 3rd thing I've recorded today. So bear with me. I'm not editing this. It is too late. The Braves, with multiple challenges in the 8th inning, just a hustle to break up a double play by Drake Baldwin. Ozzy Albies knowing the zone to get on base and hitting ABS and just trotting away. He knew it was a walk. It was ball 4 instead of strike 3. And little things like that absolutely add up for a team. And it ended up being on Drake Baldwin was called out. And he, if I bring this up there, he was called out at first. And Drake Baldwin hustled down the line. It was a bang-bang play. Braves end up challenging. That ends up turning into 7 runs for Atlanta. And by that time, this game was over because of how well the Braves pitching staff has been all year. Minus the one Jose Suarez game, then really he was the only pitcher who was bad, per se, in that game. The Braves have just been locked down defensively. So, as soon as they put up 10 runs on the board, it was 10-1. The Diamondbacks were not coming back, and you could just tell it deflated this Arizona team that just took 2 out of 3 from the Detroit Tigers. Actually, no, they took all 3 from Detroit. So a team riding a bit of momentum, and they got absolutely stomped down by a very promising Atlanta Braves team that's now sitting at 5-2. Every single Braves starter had an RBI tonight. So Acuna with 1, Baldwin with 1, Olson with 3, Riley with 2. Kyle Farmer got in on the action off the bench. He had an RBI. Yastrzemski had 2 RBIs. Ozzie with 1, Harris with 2, Dominic Smith with 1, Jorge Mateo came off the bench and hammered a homer off James McCann in the 9th inning. And Dubon with his first home run as an Atlanta Brave also with an RBI tonight. 17 runs total off 16 hits. The Braves also walked 8 times. They knew the zone well tonight. Like I mentioned already, Ozzie with the ABS challenge that got that big 8-run inning going in the 5th. So the Braves, if they could continue to do this, they need to show consistently that they don't need to put 17 runs on the board every night. I mean, this is a pitching staff that if you put 5 up most nights, you are going to give yourself a very good chance at winning with how well constructed this Braves bullpen is and how well their starters have performed so far. So don't need 17 every night, but they don't need to come out tomorrow on Apple TV and lay an egg. They need to have a little bit more consistency. So 17 runs, don't make it the only 17 runs that they score this whole series. And the Braves will be in good shape, I think, with some of the starters that they are rolling out. I want to talk about the pitching. Like I said, Reynaldo Lopez, in his second start of the year, he had a really good start against Kansas City. He had given up no runs, and then they sent it back out for the 7th. First batter he sees, future Hall of Famer Salvador Perez takes him deep, and the Braves look like they're going to end up losing that game despite Lopez playing out of his mind. And then Dominic Smith happens in the 9th inning, so he doesn't take the win or the loss. Tonight, though, he does get the win. Only got 5 innings of depth, but that was just because he was sitting on the bench forever. So no need to tax his arm by sitting him out there, especially when the Braves had the lead that they had at that point. Go ahead and get some guys in the bullpen that have not pitched very much this year some work to kind of just go see what they can do, loosen them up a little bit. But Lopez, like I said, the line tonight, 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 run. That was an earned run off of the home run, and 1 walk to 3 strikeouts. That'll raise his ERA up to 1.64 on the young season. But that's still very good, even after only 11 innings of work for Reynaldo Lopez. And his velocity looked really good tonight. And that was something I was worried about after spring training, where he just suddenly dipped into the 80s. But Reynaldo Lopez looks really good. And tomorrow you'll probably see, because it's rendering on my laptop right now as I record this, in Section 329, the Braves podcast I do with a friend every week, we mentioned there's going to be a pitcher that's going to have to go to Gwinnett or get cut from the organization to make room for Spencer Strider. And I think that the Braves, in a realistic world, would like to try to figure out who that's going to be and let performance justify that. And in addition, Didier Fuentes is on his way back to the bigs eventually. He is going to be a starter in this rotation this year. He is too good not to be. According to Walt Weiss, he's got to get stretched out in Gwinnett, and that should take him maybe 2 or 3 weeks. And so there are 2 new starters coming back into this rotation. So that was going to eliminate that 5th starting spot. I mean, Martin Perez or Jose Suarez. One of them is most likely going to get cut to the curb. And then after that, I mean, if Didier comes in, who's on the chopping block then? And then do the Braves roll with a 6-man rotation, or do one of Holmes or Lopez? I mean, do they see a transition to the bullpen where their arms might play out a little better? And I think Reynaldo Lopez made a really good case again tonight for why he can be a guy that can start yet again for the Atlanta Braves, similar to what he did in 2024. Every pitch was working for him tonight, and he just did fantastic. 79 pitches total, 52 of them being strikes. And then out of the pen as well, I mean, Kenley got his 2nd inning of work for Atlanta, and still yet to give up any base runners and another strikeout to go along with it. So 2 strikeouts in 2 innings, no hits, no walks, no hit by pitch for Tyler Kinley so far this year. So came out, did his job, and then to save some more bullpen arms, Osvaldo Bido, he comes out and just gives you a casual 3 innings of work. And, I mean, he gives up 2 hits, both of those coming in the 9th inning. Just slapped into right field, gives up those hits, and that'll raise his ERA to 2.25. But I thought he looked pretty good. Gave the Braves some length. So the Braves, despite not getting the most length out of their starters so far, getting some real quality starts, and that is what is working for them so far. And their bullpen is not being taxed very much because of it. Gonna move on to the next topic. Wow, just get more of this. I mean, I know it's easy to sit here and say, oh, well, let's just score 17 runs every night. But the Braves need to show some consistency. There would be games where they would seem to come alive offensively in the last 2 years, and then you would come out and expect it the next night, and they'd get shut out the next 2 nights. They cannot let that happen again. They need to go out tomorrow and just go and kick the teeth in of the starter again. Chase him early. I mean, send 12 guys to the plate in the first inning. They don't have to even do that, but just put runs up early and often. Just score 5. Show that you're serious and that this is kind of what you're going to be this year. Be consistent. But you can't have we're going to score 17 runs in a series and you're like, okay, that's pretty good, but we're going to score them all in one game. You can't do that. You can't just play one night and go all out and beat somebody really badly and then not play the next 2. And hopefully that's something that the Braves have learned their lesson. They seem to be a different ball team, and a lot of the little things they're doing, their body language under Walt Weiss. So we'll see how that continues this season. Player of the game, I could give this to basically the entire team because, like I said, every single hitter had an RBI tonight. And, I mean, Reynaldo Lopez was really good. So was Kinley out of the pen. But I think if I have to choose a guy, it's got to be, Drake Baldwin. I want to talk about him real quick before we get to a player of the game. He's not going to be the player of the game tonight. He had 6 at-bats. I mean, he went 1 for 6. So, not a great night, but he also had 3 runs. He scored a lot. He only got on base one. He only had the 1 hit, but he managed to get on base several times. So, that was very fun for Drake Baldwin. But he becomes the 3rd Atlanta Brave in history. The first since Hank Aaron in 1957. To score a run in each of the first 7 games of the season. So just an all-time multiple generational run on for Drake Baldwin at the moment. And he's just getting on base and he's getting hit home. And if he's not, he's putting the ball in the stands. But I think tonight has to go to Matt Olson. 3 for 3. He just missed a second homer off of McCann in the 9th inning, but he settles for 2 doubles, and that'll raise his season average up to 321. So he is, as much as the power has not been there so far, he is mashing and getting on base at the moment. So 321, 938 OPS. So 3 for 5 night, had a walk in there as well, only struck out the 1 time. So Matt Olson is your player of the game here tonight from the desert. Looking forward to tomorrow's matchup. Like I said, this will be on Apple TV as we pull up the Braves' probable pitchers. Tomorrow at 7:15 or 9:45 Eastern Time on Apple TV, it'll be Grant Holmes facing Eduardo Rodriguez for the Diamondbacks. Grant Holmes, of course, gave up, was the lone loss in the Kansas City series. Gave up, I think, 4 runs over his time in that start. Eduardo last year, he currently in one game started. He went 5 innings, only gave up 4 hits, no earned runs, but did give up a run, just was not earned. 2 walks, 5 strikeouts for Eduardo Rodriguez so far on the young season. Last year, he had a record of 9-9, had a 5.02 ERA in 154 innings pitched. So, susceptible to the whole red ball. Last year, gave up 25, which was a career high for him, especially after only giving up 8 the season before. So, 25 home runs last year. Definitely a guy that is susceptible to giving up the long ball if the Braves can get to him early. Like I said, that's a 9:45 Eastern Time start on Apple TV. So before my allergies continue to get the best of me here, I'm going to call it there. So thank you so much for hanging with me here at the Braves Recap on the first of many nights that will be late. So thank you so much, and I'll catch you tomorrow. So peace out.